there's a foundation. It's called Friends of Woodburn. It's a non-state foundation, and so they paid for the painting, and they paid for the floors to be redone. I think they paid for this rug, and the art, with some exceptions, like that's an exception, but most of the art comes either from the Brandywine River Museum, the Delaware Art Museum, or the Biggs Museum here in Dover. And so it's a great place. There are 4 bedrooms in Woodburn, and then right across the driveway there's a guest house. It's called Hall House. It also belongs to the state, and there are 7 bedrooms there. So if you come to Dover one night, you need a place to stay, you let me know. But it's a great place. A couple other facts. There is our first night that we moved in here. Literally, it was a day that I was sworn in. There was a bat. The second time I stayed here, there was a bat. I've not seen a bat since then, but they could be here. And there's a long rumor that there is a ghost. We've not seen the ghost, but Matt Kent, who is he's the Capitol Police officer, who is probably sitting back there. If any of you are interested afterwards, he's actually got a video. He's a very creative guy. This home is protected by the Capitol Police, and he's an artist, and he's really creative. And for some reason, a couple years ago, with all the stories about the ghost, he actually set a camera up in the hallway, and it ran through the night. And there's about like a 6-second piece if you look at this, and he set a chair up at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm telling you, it looks like a ghost to me. It's actually getting up the stairs. If you want to see it afterwards, Matt is actually here today, so I'm sure he'd be willing to show it to you. There's also a long story that the home was on the Underground Railroad, and that it was used to hide slaves and to sort of help slaves get through this part of the state. And there are some doors, little doors upstairs in some of the closets, which you could, it's sort of a believable story. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's one of the stories. So that tells you a little bit about Woodburn. I love it here. I just think it's such an unbelievable honor that I have this opportunity to serve as governor. This weekend, I just got back late last night from Washington. All the nation's governors were meeting in Washington, and we had a very interesting time. We had dinner on Sunday night at the White House, which was really just, they do it every year for the governors. I actually got to sit next to Michelle Obama this year, which was really remarkable. It was just an incredible experience. And so this is just an amazing position. I'm so grateful that the people of Delaware have allowed me to do this. And with that, this is something that I have wanted to do with the Mezuzah since the day that we moved in. It's interesting being in this position in a state where there's quite a small Jewish population. And so we did have, I've never had a Christmas tree in my house ever growing up, but this is the people's house. It's not our house, it's the people's house. And so there was a Christmas tree over there, and we also, of course, had a menorah. We celebrated Passover here last year. It was the first time Passover was ever celebrated at Woodburn, I'm sure. The News Journal did a story about it. It was called Matzah at the Mansion. And that was great. We celebrate, and we have for my entire life. We've celebrated Passover with some of the same cousins, and we probably had 35 people here for Passover, which was just a fantastic thing. And so, to me, somebody was asking me about the Mezuzah and putting it up and what it means. And to me, this is really, it's deeply personal. It's the people's house, but the people have let us use it for 4 years and perhaps longer, but that's up to the people too. And so, to me, this really helps to complete the home, and I think it's important. And I think who was telling me about this? Sylvia was telling me about the kids at Einstein, the picture. And so I think for the kids at Einstein and for Jewish kids throughout the state, and really for that matter for all kids throughout the state, to see a mezuzah hanging in the governor's house in Dover is a pretty amazing thing. And to add to that, the fact that Matt and I are serving together, Matt Den, makes it all the more amazing. So I am just really thrilled that you are here. I only wish my father I only wish that he was here too. So, with that, thank you all so much. And Sam or Glenn, please.
Thanks, Jack. And I think it's safe to say, as thrilled as you are to have all of us here, we're thrilled to be here. You know, first, maybe foremost, it gives us another chance to fellow about the fact we have a Jewish governor, but more importantly, it's you. And you know, one of our own has reached these heights, and you know, you and Matt exemplified tikkun olam by your public service, and you know, and that is great. And the thing about, you know, the importance of today, I mean, it is very important to the Jewish community, to the state, but I think even beyond that, you know, I mean, all of us are in the same position I'm in. I'm a, you know, descendant of refugees. My maternal grandparents fled the Bolsheviks. You know, my father left Europe just ahead of the Nazis, and you know, we have children of Holocaust survivors here today. So, you know, to sit here today and think about from whence we all came, that, you know, we're about to affix a mezuzah to the executive mansion in one of the 50 states, and you know, the wealthiest, strongest nation in the world is, you know, truly remarkable. And I think all of us, if we would ask our grandparents or think back, that we would be standing here today and have this opportunity. It's just amazing.
It's a great country.
And it speaks well of the country. It speaks to the strength of our people. So it's a joyous occasion.